So in this video, I wanted to go over the welcome series. The reason why I wanted to go over the welcome series is because it's probably the biggest flow that you'll have within your actual Klaviyo account. Now, why is that? Well, it's because this is going to be the first impression that you make on your customers. The reason why somebody subscribes to your email list is because they want more information. They want more emails. Well, in this case, it would just be they want your emails. So how do you make an actual good welcome series? You want to make sure that you're focusing on the principles when you actually make a welcome series. You shouldn't overcomplicate it. Just think about where the person is in the customer journey. Think about what they're thinking when they first subscribe to your email list. Like I said before, when people subscribe to your email list, they want to know more information. They want some type of offer from you that's going to incentivize them to actually go ahead and make a purchase. And they just simply want your emails. So with that in mind, all you really need to understand is that those three principles. It's that they want your stuff. They simply just want more information. They want to know more about you guys. And again, if you can give them an offer to actually incentivize them to actually use your product, then that's just 100% better. So a lot of people do overcomplicate it regardless of this. They think about, oh, what do I do here? What do I send here? What do I do here? It's very, very easy and easily solved when you actually understand just the principles of where somebody is in the customer journey, or just like, I guess you could say, the email journey. So that's the fundamentals of your welcome series. So I'm in Klaviyo right now, and I'm looking at a default welcome series. So in Klaviyo, you can go ahead and create a flow, and then this one's a standard flow. So when we're looking at this is how Klaviyo has it built out. When somebody subscribes, it's going to go ahead and prompt you which list you want to choose. So we chose customer newsletter, and then we have the default here. So we have welcome series email 1, we have welcome series email 2, and we have 3. Now, Klaviyo set it up in a way that actually says, hey, look, thanks for signing up. And so we can go ahead and preview the content here. And we have email 2, follow us on social media, and we have email 3, which is basically just our best sellers. So before we go into the actual content of this welcome series, is the first thing you want to do within your actual first email is you want to make sure that you're giving the person who subscribed exactly what they subscribed for. So if you're giving some type of offer, if you're giving some type of free shipping over X, or like a 10% off, or just saying, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and just say, hey, look, we have deals, we have events that are coming up. You basically want to take what that person signed up for and basically give it to them almost immediately. So that's what we're basically going to show in this preview. So we're going to go ahead and get preview right here. And as you can see, it says, thanks for signing up. And this is where you're going to actually go ahead and make sure that you're giving them exactly what they signed up for. You don't want to use a Klaviyo default. This is actually not the best. This is actually probably the worst welcome series default I've ever seen, but it's just a default. It's just a preview that Klaviyo is giving you. So you want to basically go ahead and swap this out with your own types of content. So we'll go over here to edit. And then you'll see that it gives us a nice little dashboard right here to basically edit our content. And this is basically where you'll go ahead and enter in that actual content. So whatever they signed up for, you want to put in this email just immediately. So you'll go ahead and put your header right here with your logo, and then you want to make sure you have the exact thing that you promised them when they signed up. The reason why we're doing that is because we're basically giving them what they signed up for. That's it. People sign up for a specific reason, and we want to give them that reason right off the bat. That's the best way to really understand the principles of just sales and marketing in general. We're basically taking somebody's desire and their problem, and we're just saying, hey, look, here's the solution that you actually are looking for. So that's exactly what we're doing here. And that's a principle. That's not a trick or a hack. It's just the principles. The principles always stay forever, whereas hacks and tricks, they're temporary. So you go ahead and hit save. You want to make sure you use a nice subject line here. Make sure you always use the preview text here. And then let done. And then you go ahead and basically set this live. So in the next actual email, you could talk about, pretty much anything that you want to actually talk about. But what I would advise is you want to make sure that you actually include the same offer here, and you want to include the offer in every single email. Now, just to backtrack a little bit, when you set this up, you want to make sure that you add another filter. And I should have led with this, but I am backtracking now. But you want to make sure you have your full filter here to set to what somebody has done to place order. So we'll go ahead and place order. And then we want it to say 0 times since starting this. Now, why do we want to actually go ahead and make sure that people are excluded here, right? So it's because when somebody actually subscribes and they actually, start getting these emails, and they actually, let's just say they make a purchase with whatever offer you actually offered in this flow, you want to make sure that when people place an order, they're actually funneled out. So what this says right now is when somebody subscribes to the customer newsletter and they place orders 0 times since starting this flow, they're going to go ahead and keep getting these emails, right? They're just going to keep getting these emails because they qualify for this metric right here. But as soon as somebody doesn't qualify, which means that they did place an order, so not 0 times, but 1 time or more, they're going to go ahead and get funneled out of this. because we don't want people to get like a 10% off here and make a purchase here, and then they just get another 10% off. Even if they do try to use it, we tend to just like, it's just a one-time use. It's just a unique code. We can go into more of that in another video. But essentially, when somebody makes a purchase in one of these emails, we want to make sure that they're exited out. And the reason why that's so crucial is because we are going to send a lot more emails than this. That's another thing. We want to make sure this actual welcome series goes on for as long as it needs to. And what I mean by that is you want to make sure that people who are actually in this welcome series, you want to make sure that you want to squeeze as much like juice out of this flow as much as possible. Again, this is probably when people are actually most interested in your brand, when they actually subscribe to your emails. It's a very, very important thing. When people subscribe to your newsletter, it's for a specific reason, and usually it's an offer. That's why you see on everybody's website, and it's like when they subscribe, they're basically incentivized to actually, subscribe. It's like with a 10% off, like subscribe and get 10% off, subscribe and get 20% off, spend X and get Y. All you have to do is just enter your email. These are all incentives that you want to actually include. And when you include those incentives, it really doesn't make any sense to actually, for people to not actually purchase. Like, they signed up for this offer, why aren't they actually converting? And usually that's because your welcome series is too short. So you have 3 emails here in the default. So again, Klaviyo kind of psyops people into thinking that, oh, okay, this is the default of Klaviyo, so might as well just use this. You want to make sure that you have more emails here. I would actually double this. So there's 3 emails here. We want to go ahead and hit this and hit clone, and then configure the new content, configure the new content, and configure the new content. We have welcome series that are actually, 8 emails long, like 12 emails long. You want to make sure you're getting as much as out of the person, like as much as possible, right? So realistically, this should be a minimum of 6 emails. Ideally 8 emails. It really depends on your performance. So for example, if we hit show analytics, this is just a draft. We want to make sure that if somebody actually, if people are actually purchasing here, which is very common because it's the first email that they received the offer, and some people don't purchase here, they'll go ahead and purchase here, and then they'll purchase here. If people are purchasing here in the last email, it tells us that, okay, we probably need to extend this further because these people have a longer sales process. It's a much different demographic of customer because they just need certain information. But that's why we're actually always including the offer in every single one of these, because that's what they signed up for. And again, a lot of brands forget this. They subscribe for a certain specific reason. And it's your job to include those reasons for that reason in these actual emails, because eventually they'll be like, okay, this is what I signed up for. I'm going to go ahead and actually, make a purchase here. And so I see a lot of brands that just stop here when you should just keep on adding to every single flow that is performing. So if these emails are like, you convert 500 here, 1,000 here, like let's say 300 here, you want to actually go ahead and keep extending this flow because it's actually performing. So I hope that makes sense. And another thing is with these actual settings, we usually like to keep smart setting off. And sorry about that, but my dog is barking. But you want to make sure smart setting is off. Why? Because smart setting is actually going to go ahead and, as you can see here, it's going to go ahead and skip people who have already received an email from you recently. The default is 16 hours. So if somebody receives an email within 16 hours, they're going to go ahead and get skipped. So the reason why they put that in place is so that people aren't getting too many emails. But since this is such a high priority flow, you want to make sure that people are absolutely getting these actual welcome series emails. So we like to keep these off, always turn these off, especially for the welcome series. And honestly, in every single flow, we like to just turn smart sending off because they're just very crucial. Again, just like in the last video, flows are much more personalized than campaigns, right? And obviously it's going to depend on the campaign, but for the most part, the flows are what's more personal because you're basically tracking people every step where they are in the customer journey. So that's why it's so important, and that's why I'm actually touching on it, because it's a principle. Principles are forever, and these tips and tricks are always temporary. Like, they're usually temporary, I should say. So that's pretty much how we have this set up. And I guess to go into the nitty gritty stuff, this time delay you can make as anything that you want. We like to not put a time delay here because we want to actually go ahead and make sure people get their offers immediately. If we do SMS, we want to actually, maybe put like a 2-minute or 5-minute time delay here to make sure that, they get the SMS offer like immediately, and then like 2-5 minutes later, they'll get the email. And then we like to go ahead and turn this timing off. But obviously, this is going to depend on brand to brand. This is just something that we've been doing for our clients. And essentially, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all you need to know about the welcome series. And if I wanted you guys to take away something from this video, it's that just simply understanding where somebody is within the customer journey and simply understanding what they're thinking in that customer journey, you'll never be confused about what to do. Because if you know that somebody's entering their email because of a specific offer, okay, they signed up because of this. And in these emails, we'll actually explain more about who we are as a brand and what we actually do. And we'll also give them the offer. The offer is always going to be the best, way to actually convert somebody at the end of the day. And within each of these emails, you have an opportunity to talk about something different. In this email, you could say, here's 10% off. Here's who we are. And this one, you could be like, here's 10% off. You forgot this. Follow us on social media. And this one, you could say, here's 10% off. Check out our best sellers. And the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Basically, just giving them different pieces of information in like multiple different emails, as opposed to just doing everything in just one email, which is, you don't want to actually do that. So that's pretty much the gist of this video, and I hope you guys got the most out of this. And yeah, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.